out of 13.3 million transactions, only 13,332 were fraud. That is just 0.1%. But hidden inside that 0.1% are clear patterns, predictable hotspots, and identifiable high-risk cards. Today, I will show you exactly where the fraud is coming from and what to do about it. This is our executive dashboard, the command center of the entire analysis. Across 13.3 million transactions from 2010 to 2019, we detected 13,332 confirmed fraud cases, giving an overall fraud rate of 0.1%. Looking at the trend chart on the left, fraud volumes were relatively stable until 2015, where we see a sharp spike reaching the risk threshold line. This red line is represent risk threshold line. This represents a period of elevated exposure. On the right channel bar here, immediately tell us something critical. Online transactions carry a fraud rate of 0.56%, which is more than double the average. Chip and swipe transactions sit well below the threshold. This tells us the channel of attack is clear. Online is where the fraud is concentrated. Story 2 tells us where fraud is happening, geographically and by merchant type. The geographic map shows that Ohio and the surrounding Midwest states carry the highest fraud rate per transaction volume, visible through the darker shading on WS5. When we look at the absolute fraud counts in the top cities chart, Rome stands out, 3,061 cases, representing 20% of all fraud. This is likely an online merchant category coded as Rome in the dataset, not at a physical city location. Port-au-Prince follows at 253 cases and Strasbourg at 230. On the merchant side, the MCC ranking shows cruise line with the highest fraud rate. However, the waterfall chart tells the volume story. Department stores lead 2,251 fraud cases, followed by the wholesale clubs at 991 and discount stores at 859. High fraud rate and high fraud volume are two different dimensions, and we need to monitor. Starting with age, the age profile chart shows that customers aged 55 and above have fraud rates exceeding the average line. Older customers are disproportionately targeted, likely due to lower familiarity with digital fraud patterns. Moving to credit score, the scatter plot shows customers in the 300 to 499 credit band carry the highest fraud rate at 0.16%. Notice the 650 threshold line on the chart. Customers below this line are in the elevated risk zone. This is 1.6 times higher than the 750 to 850 band at 0.1%. The card chart type here tells us debit prepaid cards have the highest fraud rate at 0.15%, higher than both credit at 0.11% and regular debit at 0.09%. Finally, the critical risk card chart at the bottom here, and it identifies 624 cards with fraud risk score of 2. These are chipless cards used for online transaction, the highest risk combination, broken down 325 debit, 226, 236 credit, and 63 debit prepaid. These 624 cards require immediate action. Thank you. Story 4 answers when and how fraud happens. On the left, the channel bar confirms that online transactions carry a fraud rate of 0.56%, the highest among all three channels and clearly exceeding the rate average fraud rate reference line. Chip transaction and swipe transaction both sit well below the threshold. The message is clear. Online is the dominant fraud channel. On the right, the time heat map plots fraud rate across all 7 days of the week and all 24 hours of the day. The color scale range from light blue at 0.02% to dark red at 0.56%. Two observations stands out. First, fraud is active across all day and all hour. There is no safe windows where fraud stops. Second, the darkest concentrations appear scattered across multiple days, with Sunday hour 11 recording the peak fraud rate at 0.23%. This tells us that time-based restrictions alone will not work. Fraud detection must operate in real time, continuously around the clock. Story 5 gives us a focused look at merchant risk through the waterfall chart. Each bar represents the number of fraud cases contributed by each merchant category, building cumulatively from left to right. The darkest bar on the far left is department stores, the largest single contributor with 2,251 fraud cases. Moving right, wholesale clubs at 999 cases, discount stores 859, and money transfer 725, and drugstores 479. The bars gradually become lighter as each category adds a smaller incremental contribution. Two important observations. First, everyday retail categories, department stores, wholesale clubs, discount stores dominate the fraud volume. These are not high risk exotic merchants. They are the stores customers visit daily, which makes detection harder. Second, money transfer at 725 cases deserve special attention. This category carries both high volume and high fraud rate risk, making it a priority for enhanced transaction monitoring. The waterfall structure allows management to immediately see where to focus resources first, starting from the left, working right by absolute impact. Our final story brings the entire analysis to a conclusion with three decisive recommendations: protect, prevent, and prepare. Recommendation 1: implement real time online transaction scoring. Our data shows online transactions carry a fraud rate of 0.56%, three times any other channel. We recommend deploying a machine learning scoring model that automatically flags transactions where fraud risk score is 2 or above for step-up authentication before approval. The projected impact is a 60 to 70% reduction in online fraud losses. Recommendation 2: immediately action the 624 critical risk cards identified with fraud risk score of 2. These are chipless cards used for online transaction, the highest risk combination in our entire dataset. The action is straightforward: automated block, customer notification, and card reissuance. Zero analytical uncertainty. These cards are compromised. Recommendation 3: pre-score fraud rate analyst resources ahead of quarter 4. Our trend data consistently shows quarter 4 fraud volumes spike 40 to 60% above baseline every single year. By pre-processing analyst capacity in September, and lowering detection threshold from October through December, we convert a predictable annual crisis into a managed event. Together, these three actions protect customers, reduce losses, and position the organization for a secure and successful quarter four. Thank you.